friends. You are watching Tactical Enlightenment, featuring our 300 series. All of these episodes that feature our small but powerful force of war veterans face off against foes in a wide variety of scenarios and in ever-increasingly more difficult situations. Alright friends, welcome back again to Tactical Enlightenment. This YouTube channel is dedicated to showing you huge battles in Bannerlord and sometimes unique situations like this. This is continuing our 300 series, where we were challenged with 300 warriors from our campaign to take on the biggest challenges we could. Some of our companions, as you can see here, very high level. A lot of them are level 35, 40, and they have elite fighting skills. Most of them are dumb. They don't have much intelligence. They're terrible stewards, but they're savages in battle, and that's exactly what we need them for here. So I was raiding this town, trying to get some attention, then I stopped when these guys showed up because we wanted to actually try to fight them in a town. Some towns are abysmal to defend in, but a lot of these that are in the central part of the Imperial area have the cow pens, or whatever you want to call them, the big open field area. So we're on normal player damage here, fighting this army of 2100. Yeah, see, this is exactly what I mean here. If you don't know the game dynamics of this, these little tiny rickety fences here, that looks like they're made out of like little tiny sticks from trees. Well, I don't know what they would be for, like for gardening or whatever. They're wide open. I can tell you, I'm a gardener. These wouldn't stop anything. Like the deer would just go in there, the rabbits would go in there. They'd be worthless for gardening. But they stop troops, right? Your troops can't get through them. So for this purpose, they're gonna work beautifully. As long as I can get my units spread out here. What I want my archer corps, my 4th and 5th corps, the 4th and 5th divisions here, to be spread out, sort of loosely protected by these little bamboo walls. And it's easier said than done. I know this is a little bit tedious, but for a difficult battle like this, I'm trying to stretch them out. So the 1st Corps, that's one of my strong infantry groups, and the 6th Corps will lay out at the front. Right, you can see these guys have really strong captains that makes their army groups even stronger. There's the 6th Corps is mostly javelin throwers, skirmishers, right? And so those guys I'll typically set a little bit back from the 1st Corps, but I use those two divisions together a lot. I'll have one division there or in a defensive posture while the other one pounds the enemy with javelins. And in this battle here, we have them out front, and depending what the enemy presents us with, we will use them in pretty dynamic ways. Back here I have the 8th Corps, which is the rest of my elite companions. You can see them, some are on horse, some are on foot. Most of those are on horse. Otherwise they would be at the skirmishers. And then we do have some archers as well. See what the enemy has here for us. They have lots of heavy cav, but they're coming in slow, like it's a waltz or something like that. So we'll open fire here. In a battle like this, I'm going to try to conserve ammunition. You hear me say that a lot of my videos. When you're trying to kill, 2,100 or 2,000 troops, right? We need to conserve ammunition here. Now you see the enemy can't get their horses in there. So those archers can just absolutely, well, except that guy. The archers can absolutely lay waste to the cavalry coming up to these little bamboo pens. Right? It wouldn't stop anything in real life. Like people would just jump over it or kick it or whatever. But in Bannerlord, unfortunately, or I guess in this case for us, fortunately, it stops war horses. So I'm just holding the line with our infantry here. This cav division up front here is distraction area. I simply want them gathering attention while the rest of us pound the fuck out of the enemy at range. Kill their nobles. We're going to demoralize the enemy if we can. In big battles like this, one of the ways to win is actually to demoralize the enemy. You don't have to kill them all, you just demoralize them. Of course, it's a lot more effective because you don't have to physically put every single guy in the dirt if you can just make them quit. These guys are penned up here. These guys are basically dead meat. They're all stuck. Their horses are trying to gallop. Have some javelins, you fuck, while you're panicked. I've got my 7th Corps following me. My 7th Corps is horse archers. You can see there's a couple cons guards in there. And we're just going to continue to pound this enemy. They're kind of stuck around the side of this ridge for some reason. Okay, they started moving archers up. We're going to peel back here. It's a nice little sword you got there, buddy. Meet my polearm and 330 polearm skill. There's a ton of javelins on the ground here. I presume that's from my guys. They tend to be a little bit over-anxious, a little bit over-excitable. They'll throw 48 javelins at one horseman. They're not very measured, right? This is like, you know, they're all young. I'm an old dog, right? So I've kind of been there, done that. I don't shoot my load at the first sign of battle here. Have a javelin in the knee there, dude. Vimurios. Alright, so here's their main vanguard, and this is the main concern. This is a problem for us. I'm going to put these guys back in a square, and we're going to try to get infantry divisions to both sides of this, right? The 1st and 6th. And what we're going to try to do is attack this big vanguard with multiple different units at once. They're getting absolutely pounded by ammunition. Because it's arrows, it's javelins, and a lot of my companions, of course, have the javelin perk, where the javelin goes right through the shield, just like these guys that I'm mowing down. I've got a little tiny sapling tree here that we're going to hide behind for cover. They've got a ton of archers on this flank. I'm moving shield walls in front of me here. I'm taking arrows kind of in the arms, like they're shooting the edges of it. And we're going to try to surround it and assault this for us. Now I've got cav, heavy cav up there. That'll give us a little bit of protection. On the other side is the 6th Corps. So now we're charging in on their soft units, these archers, and predictably they're panicking. So in we go here. It's just a mad dash to kill as many of these guys before they realize they should run. Now we can open them up, expose them to archer fire. All right, I've still got all those archers down there shooting. They're getting pounded with, you can see the death spam. Titanium Fiend Chap, and then we can charge in again. Right, we've got their infantry is what we want to come to grips with melee. This guy's playing peekaboo with me with the tree. Oh, I'm getting smacked around. The 8th Corps is on the left flank still. I can send them in anytime I want. We'll bring them up now. This is kind of an all-or-nothing charge here. The enemy's being really aggressive. So we're going to come in here just as aggressive. We're going to meet aggression with aggression. The key to those, we have our archers protected. The enemy's archers are out here getting beheaded. Meanwhile, our archers are mostly protected in those cow pens, right? They're in the indestructible bamboo farm fences. Meanwhile, their archers are getting absolutely smoked. They're trying to set up to shoot more. Anytime you see enemy archers shooting, that's basically a red flag to a bull. You should be charging. I apologize, I got a little bit of a cold. We're going to be barreling in here. As long as the enemy is right on this ridge, we're going to stay offensive. Because, very simple reason. Those archers are supporting us. You can see the death spam still. Those guys haven't run out of ammunition quite yet. They will soon, and then I'll bring them up to charge. But these archers are extremely vulnerable. They're penned up. They don't know where to go. Their horses are standing still. Of course, cavalry standing still is fucked, right? All of their damage and power comes from their ability to move quick, right? If they're not moving fast, they're fucking dead. I've got a nice new cow pen here to move my archers up into. I'm going to get the 8th Corps and the 6th off to the left or right flank here. At this stage, we're going to try to maintain positive momentum on the enemy. A lot of my archers are out of arrows, so they now become shock troops. We've got a lot of troops alive at this stage. The enemy kind of had a poor vanguard attack there. Of course, we had a beautiful defensive situation with archers All right, we need to go in here aggressively. You see all those archers. I got to get these guys shoved manually into there. When I say shoved manually into there, what I mean is I'm trying to send those units directly at the enemy. Sometimes you can hit charge, right, if you do F1, F3. Sorry, I have to, sometimes I have to focus. I can't narrate and kill. If you do F1, F3, sometimes your guys, you'll watch them. They'll run backwards. They'll run all over the place. They just kind of charge at whatever enemy is closest to them. If you want them to go in a very specific spot, use the positional, point your mouse right up to where you want them to go. When I say moving them physically, that's what I mean. This area right here, I want troops to go here, so I'll send them there, right? I'll point the little green arrows, and that means those guys are going there no matter what. It doesn't matter what happens, those guys are going to go to that spot. Even if they're being attacked, they will make their way to that spot and try to defend themselves on the way. So I'm trying to spread archers out up here in case they have arrows left. And once we have our troops moved up, I've got to get our forces concentrated here. Then we can make an attack on this huge force. The enemy still has a huge amount of troops. Now they're mid-tier troops now. These are no longer elite troops, but it's still, strength in numbers. Oh, they're either reforming or routing. It's possible that we've already broken these Imperials' morale. I mean, it's been an ass whipping. Now we have our elite forces up in here, and we're just going to fly in kamikaze style. Victory is imminent. Like a war dog, an old war dog, I can literally smell victory. Send everybody in, full attack. Some of these battalion Fianchamps still have ammunition left. That's amazing. I'm going to physically send them into the midst of the enemy here, and we're just going to try to chop off every head that's still attached to its body. We got some Last Samurai music playing. It's perfect for this final charge. Fucking bastards. Die for our entertainment. See you in hell. Their reinforcements are popping up right in front of me like a fucking magic trick. Sometimes that can really fuck you. In fact, they're totally swarming our archers. Gotta get these guys off our archers. Fucking assholes. It's just a mob of recruits. We've got enough troops. Give them hell. They look like they're trying to reform one more time. Not on our watch. Get a shield here in case they start lighting us up with ammunition. And just like I did before, we're going to send troops right into their midst. Look at me sending units past them. Right? What I want those units doing is basically cutting off. We're going to skate to where the puck is going. Right? We're not going to be behind the 8-ball here. To mix my metaphors, we're going to chase the enemy either off this fucking map or right to where they're going. And of course, our units move fast. We've got a lot of guys with 330 athletics. We've got a lot of units with banners that make their units move even faster. And of course, we still have cavalry. This is the 8th Corps pouring in, although they're kind of running like they need a Snickers or something. But the enemy at this stage is like perma-retreating. They're retreating right off the fucking map. This battle is over. Pound this guy's head against the wall here. Die, dog! I apologize for the occasional cough. I've had a cough for 2 weeks, and the people want entertainment. They demand episodes, so we're soldiering through. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode. This 300 series is pretty popular, and I got to admit it's a nice break from my campaign. My campaign is a very high-stress campaign. It's intentionally designed to be that way. I'm fighting the whole map. If you're curious, if you want to see more about it, you can check out the channel. Please subscribe if you're interested. We're going to keep pitting this group of 300 heroes against harder and harder challenges until we meet our match. And we're going to try different battles too. We're not just going to try kind of the same battles over and over again, right? We want to try to keep it lively, try to keep you entertained, right? Like Russell Crowe. Are you not entertained? Is this why you are here? So thanks again for watching, fellas.